filter out of the Deer District, filter out of the arena. Well, I mean,
no,
they're still in here.
Yeah, they're still in here. They're still in here. They don't want to go home yet.
They're going to let this one sink in for a while.
Some are filtering out. This actually may take a while that we all can't hear each other very well. But let's get back to this series as it now shifts to Phoenix. Dennis, how much confidence has this Bucks team now gained, not only because they've tied the series, but because of what we just witnessed in the last 5.5 minutes of that game?
Well, I go back to Giannis' press conference after Game 3. He talked about how each game this team gets better per series. So now you win Game 3, you learn from a few small mistakes, you come back in Game 4. Drew Holiday didn't shoot the ball particularly well again, but his defense, his rebounding, getting to the free throw line, still the intangibles that still help this team get over the hump. Pat Connaughton coming off the bench, we talk about him making a couple threes. He made those threes tonight when needed. And last but not least, Giannis may have had a block of the playoffs, that big block with the alley-oop for Ayton to kind of get those guys over the hump.
Hey, 3D, you like to talk about intangibles? Well, the Bucks won all the intangible stats tonight. Fast break points, 15-0 Bucks. Turnovers, 17-5 in favor of the Bucks. Bucks go to the free throw line 29 times. Suns only go there 19 times. All the hustle stats that says I'm playing harder than you, the Bucks won those, and that's why these fans are going crazy. What they screaming, 3D?
Bucks in 6.
What?
At least we coming back, right?
6.
Hey, knock it off, my guy. Knock it off.
You mentioned Pat Connaughton, 3D. He's joining us now from the court. And as we all struggle to hear each other talk, Pat, we're hoping that you can hear us. What was it like to be on that court and hear those cheers for you?
It was incredible. I mean, this is what you work for, right? The NBA Finals, the biggest stage, but most importantly, to have each other's backs. I mean, I just heard you guys talking, and the intangibles, the winning plays, the things, PJ Tucker did. I'm not even sure if he scored a point, but his presence was felt, and those are the types of things that we kind of pride ourselves on as a team, and that's what it comes down to in playoff basketball. That's how you win.
Pat, I had a chance to broadcast your games against Brooklyn in that series, and what an incredible series. You guys got down, but just showed a tremendous amount of grit and toughness, and that was certainly on display, it seemed, here, particularly in that fourth quarter. What was going through your mind? What was discussed in the huddles as you guys were chipping away at that lead there midway and late through the fourth quarter?
Well, first of all, it's good to have you back and not in an Atlanta Hawks shirt sitting courtside. Secondly,
I didn't think you noticed, Pat. I'm sorry.
Well done, Pat.
Secondly, I would just say, that Brooklyn series was, an Eastern Conference powerhouse series, and that was the type of things that we needed coming back from Phoenix down 0-2. That were the things we talked about. Like, they need to feel us a little bit more, that physicality, that toughness, those hustle stats you guys just talked about. We needed to win those because they're a terrific ball club. They're a terrific team. They move the ball. They play unselfishly. They scramble on defense, and to win the hustle stats and to make sure that they feel us physically like the Brooklyn's Nets did is why we came out with a W tonight.
Pat, I love your petty level as you were able to get on my guy G Hill right here. But what these Bucks fans loved even more was that big-time three that you hit in the fourth quarter. Talk about this Bucks team and your resiliency, being down 0-2 and then being down in this game but fighting through and finding a way to get the win.
Resiliency and fighting through adversity, that's what we've showed all season. I think that's been the biggest difference between this year and the last few years is we were able to find a way to get through that adversity and just the trust that the teammates have in each other. We go to war together. We battle for each other. We have each other's backs. And the confidence they have the same confidence in them. And so you got to shoot them when you're ready. You got to shoot them when you're open. You got to be ready to shoot them at all times. I missed a few I should have made, but at the end of the day, I made enough to help my team come out with a win.
And Pat, we know help to helper is a big phrase that Bud likes to use. Take us through Giannis helping and then recovering for that big block to kind of seal the deal there at the end of the game.
You said block of the playoffs. I might say
Giannis performances, but how unstoppable was Chris Middleton in this one? How big was his contribution?
Chris is an all-star. He played like it. He showed it. The thing that I love most about this entire series and this entire playoff run is the world gets to see it. We see it on a daily basis. We see it on a night-and-night basis. The Bucks fans know it, but the world's getting to see why Chris Middleton's an all-star, and he's one of the best teammates I've ever had, and for him to be able to show it on this stage, I'm really happy for him, and again, much better to have him on our team.
And Pat, can you take us back? I think it was late in the third quarter. Coach Bud called a timeout. You come out, you execute, you get Giannis for an easy left-hand dunk. Can you take us through that play that we've never seen before?
Yeah, that was a play, Bud drew up. We worked on it a little bit in practice. It's something that, there were multiple options. And the read that Drew Holiday made, he had Chris on one side, he had Giannis on the other side. But, again, P.J. Tucker. I mean, the screens that P.J. sets, he doesn't get credit for it. It's not something in the stats, but he gets credit in our locker room. And, we wouldn't be here without him. And for him to get Giannis open, the easy buckets are the buckets that we want to make sure we try to get more of, especially for Giannis, because as the game continues, he fights through a lot, and he's exhausted, so it's nice to get him a few easy ones.
Pat, I asked these guys, but I want to ask you as well, what is it about this team that when your backs are against the wall, this isn't the first 0-2 deficit that you all have faced this postseason alone? How much confidence has been gained as you've tied yet another series?
A lot. I mean, it's fighting through adversity. We prefer not to put ourselves in those types of holes, but, when we do, it's about staying together. And I think that's what shows a lot in this team, and that's, make you a championship caliber team, is when things start going the wrong way, you come closer. You don't, go apart. You don't, look to individual things. Like, you come closer as a team. You have each other's backs even more during the tough times, and that's something that Coach and John Horst and the ownership has preached time and time again, and that's something that this team's really responded with.
Pat, thanks so much for taking the time to join us. We at least know that we're going to see you again in Milwaukee a few days from now, so we'll go ahead and let you go. But thank you again, and congratulations on the win.
Awesome. Thank you, guys.
Thank you. Good stuff. Good
All
stuff.
right, guys, we've got to get back to how we got here.
You never saw panic in their emotions down the stretch, so you can appreciate that as well.
What is it, Brendan, that made the difference as we look at these numbers between games 3 and 4, 18 points as opposed to the 40 that he had in front of this crowd tonight?
Like I said, I think he just hit shots. When you look at those first 2 games, he was getting good looks. He's taking shots that he normally takes. Screener down the stretch really helped Chris Middleton as well. They do not want to come off of Giannis's body. And so when Giannis sets that screen and Chris Middleton comes off of it, he has a lot of room to get to his mid-range jump shot or at least keep that defender on his back hip and drive it to the basket. So I like the way they use Giannis in that screener role. I think they actually need to do more of that. But listen, I'm not going to be nitpicking whatever the Bucks did tonight because it's all about the Bucks and the way they got this win. But that is something that really stuck out to me. Giannis being a screener freed up Middleton on a lot of occasions for open shots.
Because somehow, with 40, Chris Middleton was still not the highest scorer on the floor. We've got to talk a little bit about the Phoenix Suns. Dennis, you told me before this game that Devin Booker would find his rhythm yet again and that your expectations relative to what he's capable of, well, they had to have been met in this one.
Really slowed him down. And I think that's something Monty will talk to him about the next day or so to figure out how do we cut back on your fouls because you got your rhythm back shooting, but we got to keep you on the floor.
And what I liked, and we talked about this in the opening, in Game 3 he was settling. 1 for 7 on threes. We even questioned whether maybe the whole thing with Patrick Beverly, we got hit in the nose. He may have lost his aggressiveness, but you saw him mix it up here in this Game 4. He got to the mid-range. He even posted up a little bit. He was attacking, wasn't settling. Didn't really take a whole lot of three-pointers.
3 for 8. 3 for 8.
3 for 8. Okay, he took a lot. He just took more twos and was more efficient. But that stretch there in that third quarter, wow, that was incredible. No one else was doing anything. I believe at the end of the third, there was no one else in double figures for the Suns, but he had a spectacular night, and he got his rhythm back like we talked about. It was just unfortunate that the rest of the team, they couldn't close it out down the stretch. Milwaukee was fantastic at that time.
Yeah, I was with 3D when it came down to Devin Booker at the beginning of this game, that I felt like he was going to get his rhythm back just because he's a guy that plays with high confidence. And when you look at the shots that he was missing in Game 3, those are shots that he was capable of making. Because sometimes he was rushing them a little bit, not getting his normal lift and fade that he gets on most of his jumpers. But tonight he had it cooking. We were calling him Cookbook when we were watching the game in the back because he definitely – what?
I'm sorry. Go ahead. I'm sorry. You were saying, go ahead.
Hey, man, hey, chill out, man. Don't
just a quick nap.
Who took a nap?
Just a quick nap.
I didn't say nothing.
That's what we doing, Ledlow?
He woke up for the last 5.5 minutes.
Are you serious right now? If this plexiglass wasn't between us right now, are you serious?
Look at this, though.
Oh, man.
Well, I tell you what, I ain't got no friends.
Oh, look at Julius. Look at my man, the doctor.
Devin Booker has moved into first
There's been no crimes around Crystal
in league history. with total points in their first NBA playoff run with 542. He, of course, has now played in 20 games this postseason. We do, though, need to hear from Coach Monty Williams as this final series is now tied at 2 games apiece.
Coach, you guys were up 7, I believe, in the fourth. And
Yeah.
that was an opportunity to push it out there. What do you feel like didn't work or happen during that stretch?
Well, the turnovers just crushed us tonight. You know, we shot 50% from the field, but they got 19 more possessions. And, you know, over the course of the game, when you just give it up that many times, the turnovers and offensive rebounding was a bit of a hill for us to climb. But you're right, when you have that kind of a lead in the fourth, if we can just hold on to the ball and get good possessions, you feel like you can at least hold it there. And so, you know, I got to look at the film and see, was it schematics or was it just, you know, their defense? I'm not quite sure yet, but we certainly had a lot of self-inflicted stuff tonight.
All right, we go to Kellen Olson, second row, blue shirt.
Hey, Monty, when Book's sitting with foul trouble, what's that experience like for a head coach where you're just trying to get every single possession
That's hard.
you can?
Yeah, because he could have gone for 50-plus tonight. I wanted to get him in maybe a minute earlier than I did. You're just holding on, trying to get as many stops and solid possessions as you can, but it's not an ideal situation. But I thought we managed it well tonight. We were able to get him back in when the game was still tight, and we actually had the lead, I think. And so but the thing that's on my mind more than anything is how many possessions we gave them tonight, especially with us shooting the ball as well as we did. Certainly didn't generate enough threes, only 23. But to your point, it's not an ideal situation, but I thought we handled it better than I thought.
To follow up on that, a few of those turnovers were Chris and just very unlike him. Is he physically doing okay right now? Is as well as
he's fine. You know, great players have games like that. We expect him to bounce back. You know, he had 5, but we had 17, and they scored 24 points. You know what I mean? That was pretty much the game right there. And then you double that up with the offensive rebounding. So it wasn't just Chris. As a team tonight, we got to take better care of the ball.
We'll go to Dave McMenamin, third row.
Excuse me. Monty, there was a lob to Ayton that could have tied it, and Giannis made a great play on the ball.
Yeah.
That's your perspective of what you saw there.
Yeah, they do a really good job of dropping back. Like you said, he just made a great play. We've run that play a lot this year and gotten the lob or the jump shot or the three on the backside. He just made a great play.
We'll go to Mark Medina, second row. Middle seat.
Obviously, Devin had the game that he had, but what did you notice about his mindset, even with the fact that he was getting fouls, that he was able to still play through all that?
Yeah, he was locked in. You know, we talk about that a ton. He had a really good workout yesterday, a somewhat of a decent workout, and then this morning he looked really good in our warm-ups, shoot-arounds. But his focus to play in all 3 levels tonight on offense was really good for us. That's just his mindset. We knew he was going to bounce back from the other night. He was drawing fouls himself, and that helps us when he gets to the line. But, you know, if we take care of the ball and cut out 5 of those turnovers, he probably ends up with 50 tonight. You know, that's the way I look at it. But they're putting a lot of pressure on us, and we're doing the same thing with them. It's 2 good teams. We're 2-2. Like, that's the deal. That's what I told our guys. We put ourselves in this position. We got home court advantage. I foresee him playing like that for the rest of the series.
Okay.
Devin Booker is now ready to address the media after his 42-point performance.
Okay, first question. We'll go to Dwayne right here in the first row, right seat.
Devin, I know you're all about winning, but you had the huge night, 42 points. How are you even rationalizing having the big night, but you guys not being able to finish the game and coming home?
It doesn't matter at all. You know, I said that after last game too. When I struggled shooting it, the main objective is to win the game. So anything that goes on throughout the game, it doesn't matter for real.
Quick follow. You guys were up 7, and I know it's when you were sitting. What did you see that got them back in it? Was it more of what you guys didn't do or what they did?
That's a tough question, but, I'd say a little bit of both. I think 17 offensive rebounds, 17 turnovers. So that's on us as a team.
Okay, we'll stay in the first row. Go to Rachel.
Book, what was it like on the sideline when you were carrying those 5 fouls and you were waiting to go back in?
It's tough, but, I think the group that was out there was holding it down, defending at a high level. It's just, we have to close possessions. And, that's obviously something that, hurt us tonight. So, yeah.
Okay, we go to Kellen Olson, second row.
Hey, Book, points off turnover, second chance points. You guys have been so good there all year, and in these last 2 games, they've been killers. How do you guys just get back to what's been working there?
Just be physical early, on both sides. I think I picked up my 5th foul being aggressive, trying to box out PJ. They're coming at full speed, and we know that, and we understand that.
Okay, we go to Gina, second row, right seat.
Book, Monty mentioned that he saw over here. That he saw in shoot around this morning that you just kind of had this pop in your step, and so I'm just curious what the last 2 days had been like coming off of Game 3, and did you kind of feel similarly this morning that like, okay, I've got my legs under me, this could be a good night for me?
Yeah, just resting our bodies, getting treatment, and just getting ready for the game that was tonight. And that's the same routine we're going to do going into Game 5.
We go to Mark Medina, second row, middle seat.
Chris and Devin, what do you guys think it counted overall for the 17 turnovers?
It was me. I had 5 of them. You know what I mean? It was bad decision making. Timely, we down 2, and I tried to cross over right there, slip, turn it over. I had some bad passes in the first half. You know what I mean? They got a significant amount more shots than us. And so, for me, I got to take care of the ball. We got 17 turnovers. We shoot the ball too well not to have those opportunities to score.
Okay, we go to Zoom for 2 questions.
We're going to go to David Aldridge with The Athletic, followed by Cameron Cox.
For both guys, are adjustments overrated when you get to Game 4 of the finals? Is it just about execution and executing better as opposed to anything that they did to take things away from you guys down the stretch?
At this point, both teams know each other. You know the sets. They can call out our plays. We can call out our plays. It's about execution. You know what I mean? So down the stretch, we got to box out. I got to box out. We got to execute. We're a team that's closed out games like that all season long. So this is a tough one, but we got to bounce back. That's why we fought all season to get home court.
All right, we'll go to Cameron Cox with 12 News.
Hey, Book, Chris just mentioned it, but how frustrating is it not to be able to close this one out, especially when you guys had that lead in the fourth quarter?
It's really tough whenever you can't, win a game, especially at this point in the season.
Any other questions for Chris or Devin? All right, go back to Dwayne, first row.
Yeah, Chris, being in this situation, it's 2-2. Obviously it's a series, and then you guys got the home court. What do you want to see in the next 24, 48 hours from you guys to know that we're moving in the right direction going into Game 5?
You can't just bank on the fact that you got home court. You got to go out there and play the game. You know what I'm saying? You got to go out there and execute. So we'll do that. We tend to respond well, but it's easy. We know what we got to do. Be better.
All right, we go to Steve, third row, middle seat.
For Devin, I'm just wondering, you were on such a roll for most of the night. You sit about 5 minutes there in the fourth quarter with the fouls. When you got back, did you feel like you were in the same rhythm you were before, or did that throw you off at all, having to sit as much as you did there in the fourth?
No, I was still in rhythm. It's a mindset more than anything, and I was still there, but that's besides the point, to be honest.
Tied this series at 2 games apiece, and it shifts back to Phoenix. Drew Holiday joining us now. Drew, what happened here in Milwaukee to completely change the momentum of this series?
Going in there to Phoenix, they did the job. They won 2 games, and we came back to home court and protected home court. So we'll have to go back to Phoenix and try to steal one.
And Drew, throughout the playoffs, you guys have demonstrated that even when you get down, whether in a game or even in a series, a tremendous amount of toughness. Just talk about the makeup of this team and how, despite the adversity or the odds that are in front of you, you guys just keep plugging away and find a way to get the job done.
Yeah, I think the first 2 games we were never rattled. I think we lost by 10, and obviously it's the first couple of games of the finals, but we were pretty consistent in what we wanted to do. We made adjustments and came back home and got 2.
Drew, you obviously didn't have your best offensive game, but defensively you were stout. You were right on point. Really pressured Chris tonight. What did you do differently, if you did do anything differently from the first couple of games in this series, because your defense was off the chain?
Really just being consistent, just trying to nag him, always be around him. I know that they try to get me off him and when we're switching, but really just try to make it hard for him. We know he likes to get to his spots, those mid-ranges, he's killer at it, but really just trying to annoy him.
And Drew, when you see a guy like Booker cooking the way he was tonight, how do you guys stay disciplined on the defensive end, knowing that if one guy is cooking, the rest of the guys not killing y'all still can get a win here at home?
Just staying consistent. We know how great of a scorer Book is, but if he's doing it by himself, we feel like we come down here on offense, we can take care of it that way. And then defensively, really just don't let him get any more assists. Same thing with Chris. Once they're moving the ball and sharing the ball, they're a tough team, but Book had an awesome night, but everything was in our favor toward the end.
But you've called your Chris and Giannis the heart and soul of this team. When he finishes with 40 points, the way that he did down the stretch, how do you quantify Chris Middleton's contribution?
I mean, it's exactly what I said.
Fantastic. Obviously, Booker had a great third quarter there, but you forced turnovers. You really it appeared like you turned the screws and really applied pressure, and Phoenix could not answer you on the defensive end. Was that just, as a group, is that something you guys know, hey, winning time, we have to pay attention to the details, play with intensity, do all we can, leave it out there to give us a chance to win?
Exactly. This whole playoff run has been that, starting off with Miami and the different looks that we've had, and then going to Brooklyn and playing against KD and James and Kyrie. And then you had Trae Young and you had Herder, and so we had a lot of different looks throughout this whole playoff series, and or the whole playoff. So I think coming down to this, we've always relied on their defense, and that's what we're gonna have to do.
Drew, thanks again for taking the time. Congratulations on the win, and we'll see you in a couple days.
Thank you.
All right, we've got to get to Giannis now live at the podium addressing the media. He finished with 26 points in this one. Rebounds, 8 assists, and 3 steals.
Yes.
Can you just take me through the block?
Well, just hustle play. I thought I'm going to get dunked on, to be honest with you. But, going down the stretch, just do whatever, it takes to win the game. Just put yourself in a position that can win the game. And, I saw the play coming. I saw that Chris Paul was throwing the lob. So I'm just going to jump vertical, towards the rim. Hopefully I can, be there in time. And I was there in time and was able to get a good block and go down, get to a point. So it was a great hustle play.
It felt like a strange angle. Like it was one of those spots where the toss just kind of came out of nowhere. Did it surprise you at all?
No. It didn't surprise me. Like I saw it coming. Like I knew once I saw him putting on his one hand, he was too far for a layup. So I knew he was throwing the lob, and I committed so much. And you kind of like, you're instinct, you kind of feel it. I felt him like rolling and to the rim behind me. So I knew the only chance to get a stop is just jump towards the rim and try to cover that angle for him to score.
And Aiden is so strong. So you legitimately thought as you went up he was gonna dunk it?
Yeah, I was late. Like usually a play like that, it's if I was in the opposite side, it's a dunk, you know. But as I said, like I didn't jump to block the ball. I jumped towards the rim. I feel like that's what kind of helped me, put me in position to get the block because I jumped. The rim was right here, so I jumped right here. So he could like shoot the ball. If he shot the ball to the backboard, it'd probably be a goaltending, you know. But he tried to dunk it, so I was right there earlier than him.
Malika in the back.
Giannis, Chris had some big performances last round, but for most of them you were watching. Tonight you got to be out there with him. What did you see from him, and what was that like?
It was great. You know, he was being aggressive, and you know, I kept communicating to him that there was things that we could do that to get him wide open, to get him to the elbow jump shot, to get him turning the corner, because usually they're like helping a lot when he's turning the corner, but he was. That's what he does down the stretch. We want him to have the ball. We want him to be the decision maker. We know he's going to take big shots. He's going to make big shots. And tonight he was incredible.
Jim, here up front.
Hey, Giannis. Well, you mentioned a hustle play on your end. I guess can you speak to Pat's defense on Devin, where there was a switch late and Devin tried to end up having a contested jumper. Drew gets the that rebound, gets an offensive rebound at the other end. It seemed like hustle, mental toughness, big part of those last few minutes for those guys.
For sure. For everybody that was on the floor. We gotta know, what kind of game this is. We knew that the last 3 minutes we gotta, get stops, take possession at a time and just make it as tough as possible for them. We knew that Devin Booker gonna have the ball, Chris Paul gonna have the ball. And we just wanted to make them make a play, make them make a tough play, maybe drive to the hoop, have a contested layup or a contested two, So I think those two guys did a great job. Drew did a great job, Pat did a great job, and we need them to keep doing that.
You've talked about trust for those guys, especially Pat on offense. Is that an example of trust on defense where I don't know if there's an instinct or a desire to maybe want to go help or help too much, but it seemed like that was just, okay, Pat, this is your assignment, and try to make it tough.
Yeah, it's okay. He can, and Pat and Drew and PJ, they can guard, and there's going to be times that as bigs, me, Brooke, Bobby, we got to read, when we're going to help. And sometimes we overhelp, that we don't have to, but this time they have to guard. They have to sit down and move their feet and contest shots and send the guys to the crowd and send the guys to the bigs. And I feel like they've been doing a great job. But as we gotta keep doing this together. They gotta keep guarding. We gotta keep helping, and moving forward, we gotta keep doing this.
Rachel?
Giannis, in the fourth quarter when they're up.
Yeah, I can't see. Oh, he's in the corner. Okay.
Yeah, he's in there. In the fourth quarter when they were up 7, and if you go down 3-1, going back there, that's significant. What was going through your mind?
How bad do you want it? How bad do you really want it? And just leave the game, swinging, kind of mentality. Try to be aggressive, try to get stops, try to set screens, do everything physically possible to put yourself in a position to win this game. And I think everybody was feeling that. And, that's what we did. It wasn't a pretty game, but was able to, keeping our composure, keep coming. We had wide open shots that we missed that we usually make, but going down the stretch, we kept believing in ourselves. We kept executing. We kept setting screens. We kept getting stopped. We kept running. We kept rebounding the ball. We kept blocking shots. So we wanted this bad, and the team showed it tonight. But we gotta keep getting better. We gotta keep getting better. We gotta keep taking steps forward and keep playing good basketball.
Tim up front.
It didn't seem like
get into quite the same places and be quite as aggressive as you were tonight offensively. Did they do anything different, or was it something you were seeing that was different? What changed?
No, I think I just got to be more aggressive. I got to keep going downhill more, and keep enjoying the game more. Yeah, that's pretty much it.
And you and Chris have both talked a lot about the fact that over the past 8 years, you guys have kind of built this thing into what it is and built yourselves into the players that you are. How did it feel to be able to close out a game like this with him, with the way you two played down the stretch to kind of get this thing done and keep you guys in the series?
Feels good. We've done this a lot of times, and there's times that going down the stretch, I gotta trust him. And he got to trust me. And as I said, we've done so many. We've closed so many games, and we've lost a lot of games. But like closing a game like this in the NBA Finals, obviously it means a lot, and it felt good. And but we cannot be satisfied. We got to keep enjoying the game, keep playing good basketball. And but to answer your question, it felt good doing that with him down the stretch.
Lori, right here.
I also wanted to ask you about Chris. I know it doesn't surprise you that he had 10 clutch points because you know him so well, but how happy are you for him? He doesn't flex. He doesn't put anything on himself. He doesn't even dunk. So the fact that, did you say anything to him, or just how happy are you for him?
I'm proud. I'm very proud. But as I said, it comes down to trust. I trust him. Win or lose, I'm okay with it. Usually, when you're going down the stretch in game like this, or whatever game you play, you want to take it upon yourself. And win or lose, you're like, okay, I took the shots. I lost the game, I won the game. But it comes down to trust. I trust that guy right there, Drew. I trust Chris. I know they're gonna make the right play, and I know they're gonna deliver the ball when I'm open. And but what he did tonight was incredible. We need him to keep doing it, and we within reach of our goals, and hopefully we can keep enjoying the game and keep playing good basketball, keep having building winning habits that we built all year, keep trusting our winning habits, and keep making winning plays, and hopefully we can put ourselves in a position to win.
Sam, on your right.
Giannis, you've had plenty of big moments, but you got about 70 seconds left in that game. You finished that block, and you didn't make the choice to flex and look in the crowd a little bit. Just what's the feeling, especially after the entire night of grinding to get where you guys were?
Oh man, it was a tough game. It wasn't a pretty game, but we grinded through. They played really good. They played really, really good. You got to give them credit. But as I said, 3 minutes before, in the timeout, in my head, I'm like, you got to keep making plays. Right now, it's how bad do you want it? If they go up 3-1, it's a whole different ball game, and I feel like it was just emotions. And sometimes, I block a shot around the other way, but, I think there was so much emotions into me, and I tried to, enjoy that moment, and, there's sometimes that you have a block, have a three, whatever, you just run down the other. But, for me, the way I play, the way I want to play moving forward, I want to, enjoy every single moment, and that was a moment that I felt like our team was turning around, and we were, getting the momentum, and Chris was hitting big shots, and, it felt good. So yeah, to answer your question, it felt good, and the way we were playing felt good at the time.
Right here in the center.
Giannis, this was the second game in a row you went out early in the first quarter. I'm just curious what was going on there.
I wanted to, what the hell you guys say it politely? I wanted to take a tinkle. A tinkle? Yeah. I wanted to take a tinkle, it came back. Yeah. That's it, right? Tinkle is probably, yeah. Both games. I went to take a tinkle and went back.
Last question, Jeff.
We should probably just end right there.
Another Chris question. He's such a, easygoing, seemingly quiet even on the court. And so when did you learn he had such a competitive nature? How did you learn it? What were the signs that showed you there was some fire inside?
Okay, throughout the years, throughout the whole journey with him, I kind of, figured it out. We've played so many games together, but there was a specific time, I think it was in the playoffs against Toronto, back here that we played at home. I don't want to say the whole story, what happened, and but like he wasn't feeling great, and but he played the game and he gave everything to for the team and for us, and that's when I realized I'm like, yeah, this is the guy that I want to be aligned with, and I want to go through the journey with, so that was, as I said, throughout the journey there was a lot of moments, but that was a specific moment that I was like, yeah, that's that dude, that's the dude that I want to build a legacy with and be with him, just be a part of his own journey, and he can be a part of my journey, and do this together.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
There's a lot we could touch on with what Giannis said there at the podium, but let's go back to those final 5.5 minutes. To be specific, 5 minutes and 22 seconds, where the Bucks finished the game on a 19-8 run, and not only tied this series, but completely shifted the momentum of the series before it heads back to Phoenix. Dennis?
Yeah, you just love their focus, and like both guys said, that they knew they had to come home and get both of these victories. We knew Phoenix handled their business, winning game 1 and 2, but it's how they did it. Not getting off to great starts. Phoenix Suns got off to a great start tonight. Mikal Bridges made his first couple of shots, so we thought he was going to get it going. Then he kind of disappeared. But Devin Booker really rode the wave all game long. And like Drew Holiday said, we stuck to our principle defensively. As long as no one else got it going, they knew they could finish the ball game out tonight.
Well, listen, this team down the stretch, like we talked about their belief. Even though things weren't going their way, they still were able to believe in themselves. They were doing the right things as far as limiting fast break points. They were limiting their turnovers, so they were playing smart basketball. So when you have that belief in yourself and you're playing smart basketball, a lot of times things will work out for you, and that's what happened tonight for the Bucks. Throw in a little bit of Chris Middleton hitting his shots down the stretch, and there you have it.
It's pretty incredible. Phoenix still shot 51% from the field, but because of the size and dominance, and particularly the offensive glass, Milwaukee had 17 offensive rebounds. They had 19 more field goal attempts, and so I think that contributed as well. Phoenix had this game. This is a game they probably should have won. Too many mistakes down the stretch. This is a team that values the basketball, and they've won more close games this season because they don't turn it over. A lot of sort of untimely turnovers there down the stretch, and Chris Paul had quite a few of those. But it'll be interesting, after game 2 in Phoenix, it was okay. How does Milwaukee respond? How do they deal with adversity? How do they bounce back, going back home now, have some confidence, so on and so forth. Now Phoenix is in that boat, Phoenix, okay, game 3 was game 3, but you lose this way, you got to get over it quickly and move on and maintain sort of who you are and keep your confidence as you come back. But now there's pressure on Phoenix, and it's going to be interesting to see how it all plays out.
There was one play, Dennis, that you continued to reference, even as we spoke to Pat Connaughton. What is it that you saw from that play that you liked about the way that the Bucks were executing?
Well, Bud's still one of the best in the business. ATO, just out of the timeout. Look at P.J. Tucker, sacrifice setting that big screen. How many times does Giannis get a wide-open dunk like this? So we know the block's a big play. We know the wide-open 3. But I thought this was a huge play in the third. But look at this, Grant. Look at the pick that P.J. Tucker sets, wide open, sacrificing his body. We're talking about playing for one another. I just thought this was another huge play at the timeout to kind of get the Bucks going as the Phoenix Suns were kind of pushing back. So you kind of saw the Phoenix Suns. That was your fault. That was my fault. No, that was a great play and kind of kept the Bucks in the right flow of the game.
And that's a throwback play. We talk about all these analytics and all these fancy plays.
Yes.
That is nothing but an old school 90s cross screen for get your best player on the low block.
Yes.
Those are like the plays they used to run for like Patrick Ewing and Akeem back in the day. That is a old school throwback, easy play. And guess what? Phoenix messed up the coverage. A lot of guys didn't know what was going on. And credit Bud for simplifying. Hey, I don't need to throw everything at these guys. I'm just going to throw this cross screen at them and see how they handle it.
Well, because teams don't see that kind of play.
Right.
They're not accustomed to that. I'm sure when he was in San Antonio, they ran that for Tim Duncan.
Probably.
He's probably seen it a time or two.
Yes.
How disheartening, though, is it if you are the Phoenix Suns, you come to Milwaukee with a 2-0 lead, and particularly if you're Devin Booker and you finish this game with 42 and had the lead with just a few minutes to go?
Well, it's tough. I mean, it's tough because, I think one thing, when you lose and you get blown out, I mean, you can deal with that. But when you have the game in your balance and you just don't kind of make the right plays down the stretch, that's tough. That's tough to deal with. That's tough to accept. I think this team, though, is mentally tough. You don't get to the NBA Finals if you're not a mentally tough ball club. So they are more than capable of recovering from this and coming out and having a good performance in Game 5. But this is going to be a tough flight back to Phoenix, losing like they lost in this game. And particularly a chance to go up 3-1 and possibly close out at home Game 5. So it's got to regroup, learn from it, move on, and get ready for a tough Bucks match, against Game 5.
And you talk about Devin Booker stepping up. He certainly did step up. He had 42 big points, but the rest of the Suns starters only had 38. Chris Paul, 5 field goals and 5 turnovers. That's not the Chris Paul that we're used to seeing. DeAndre Ayton, only 6 points. So Devin Booker stepped up, and they probably win this game if he just gets 1 or 2 more of his teammates to come along with him, especially maybe if you just pick one between DeAndre Ayton and Chris Paul. If one of those guys has a good game or even an average game for them, Phoenix probably prevails. But because both guys were a little stymied tonight, now we have a 2-2 series.
Look, you never criticize when someone has 42 points and, 17 for 28 from the field, only missed 11. I mean, it was spectacular.
Sounds like you're about to criticize, though.
No, I'm just saying.
You're setting up for the criticism.
I'm just saying
it coming.
that I think one of the strengths of this ball club is everybody, to your point, being involved and being a part of it. And Bridges and Ayton had a total of 2 shots combined, in the second half. Mm-hmm. And so, it's one of those things, you kind of pick your poison. Mm-hmm. Booker kept them going in the third quarter, stayed hot, kept them, at least in the game.
Great postseason performances. Do you think playing a game like this on this stage at this time of the series, do you feel like a weight is off your shoulder at all?
No, not necessarily. I mean, not perfect. I feel like I've had a great career so far. Every year I feel like I advance my game, and as an organization, we take a step forward most of these years that I've been here. As far as the other stuff, I really don't care about. With myself, with this organization, it's all about taking a step each day in the right direction.
Giannis talked about how much he trusts you, and you saw the play after you got the layup, how everybody just kind of came onto you and picked you up. What is it like to have that trust of your teammates? Does that help you kind of block out any outside noise that you get because you have the backing of your team?
For sure. I mean, my teammates, first, my coaches, then everybody else in the organization, their opinion matters to me the most. I'm sorry, but I don't care what you guys write or what you guys think, whether it's good or bad. But for my teammates to have the confidence in me, trust in me, that's the most important of all.
Eric, on your right.
I'll ask both of you, but we'll start with Pat. Just what are you thinking as Giannis goes up for that block? I think you're over by Crowder, kind of trailing the play.
Yeah, I was on Crowder, the guy who was pulling up after the pick and roll. I was right around the elbow at the time. And the honest thought that was going through my head was more or less kind of like shock and awe. I think, when the block happened, I kind of looked like, and luckily PJ came across the lane and grabbed the rebound because I forgot for a split second to go grab it. I kind of said it's, in my opinion, the best block of all time. Obviously we're a little biased, and you can talk about the LeBron block as well. But as far as a block where he was covering the pick and roll, he had to judge where the pass was, where Ayton was catching it and trying to dunk it above the box. It's about as impressive as you can get.
You were far side, I believe.
Yeah.
What was your vantage point?
Kind of the same thing him. Probably say excuse my language, but it was one of those oh shit moments. 2 times, like, oh man, like we gave up a layup, then next thing you know, he's blocking it. It was a great effort. Didn't give up on the play when it seemed like they had an open layup or a dunk. And, that's what we need in this finals, everybody get those extra effort. And, he came through for us big on that play.
Chris, for you, obviously, all of your teammates that have been up here have talked about how much they trust you. Pat had missed 2 threes at the start of the fourth quarter, and then he steps into a big one and manages to hit it. Just what do you think it is? You see Pat line up another one and have that open shot?
That's what we want him to do. That's what he's out there for. He's hit many big shots for us throughout the season, throughout this playoff run. Like I said, he's out there for a reason. If he has an opening to shoot and he's wide open, he's got to shoot it. Whether it's make or miss, it's just going to keep the defense honest for one. Then two, he's a great shooter.
Tim?
Chris, as you obviously went on that 10-0 run in the final couple minutes there, you had to get picked up off the ground because you clearly were out of gas after that layup. But what kind of allowed you to summon the energy needed to make those plays in that moment there?
Everybody's tired. Everybody's banged up. Just got to give it all, leave it all on the court. We could rest and sleep and get treatment after the game. But, while that game is being played, there's no excuses of exhaustion or something's hurt. If you're hurt, you just can't be out there. But that's all. Give it your all.
And what exactly is it about this building that you thrive so much in it? And, I mean, even next door, you weren't quite the same player as you've been since you've gotten here.
Just the energy. I've been playing in this, building for 2 years now. A lot of shots. I guess I got to get some extra shots in Phoenix and whatnot. But just got to find a way to knock down shots on the road. I mean, it's been tough for me all, postseason long. Just got to find a way.